to a missing persons case in Phoenix. The body of 18-year-old Yessenia Norman has been found, and it's been ruled a homicide.
Tolleson police recovered the body over the weekend after she first went missing on January 19th.
She thought it was just a date, a simple meetup, a normal night, a conversation that started with a swipe. In today's world, connections happen instantly. A profile picture, a few messages, a sense of comfort built through a screen. What feels familiar can still be completely unknown. In Arizona, a young woman left her home to meet someone she believed she knew. It was supposed to be ordinary. It was supposed to be safe. She never came back. Days later, investigators would uncover a scene so violent it stunned even experienced detectives. The victim, Yessenia Norman, became the center of a crime that would raise chilling questions about trust, online dating, and hidden danger. But before we continue, this video contains discussions of violent and disturbing events. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The purpose of this content is to inform, raise awareness, and present facts based on publicly available reports. We do not create content to sensationalize tragedy or disrespect the victim or her family. Our thoughts remain with everyone affected by this heartbreaking crime. If you believe crimes like this need to be told responsibly, if you want deeper insight beyond the headlines, and if you want to stay informed about real cases happening across the country, subscribe to World Crime Watch and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Because awareness isn't just information, it's protection. She thought it was just a date, a simple meetup, a normal night, a conversation that started with a swipe. In today's world, connections happen instantly. A profile picture, a few messages, a sense of comfort built through a screen. What feels familiar can still be completely unknown. In Arizona, Yessenia Norman left her home to meet a man she thought she could trust. It was supposed to be ordinary, safe. Nothing about that night suggested danger. Her mother recalls her last words before
Very
leaving.
unusual. She doesn't text me every day, but she's on social media every day.
"Mom, it's just a quick meetup. I'll be back soon." She never came back. The hours that followed were filled with unease. Her mother called her phone repeatedly. No answer. Friends sent messages. Silence. At first, they hoped she was just running late, that she had gotten caught in traffic, that her date had ended abruptly, or that she simply forgot to call. But as the night turned into early morning, a chilling realization began to take hold. Something was wrong. By the following day, when her absence became undeniable, her mother's anxiety turned into terror. She remembers the sinking feeling, the pit in her stomach that told her this wasn't just a delay. This was something far worse. Police were called, and the investigation began. They traced her last movements through phone records, messages. and the faint digital footprints left behind. Every timestamp, every ping on her phone, was a small breadcrumb leading investigators toward the truth and toward horror. Neighbors described seeing her leave her apartment, confident and smiling, completely unaware of the danger waiting for her. Surveillance cameras captured her walking toward the location of her date. Nothing unusual in her stride, nothing to suggest the nightmare that would follow. Hours passed. Anxiety mounted. By mid-afternoon, her absence was impossible to ignore. Her mother, desperate, spoke to friends and family, retracing Yessenia's steps in vain. "She wouldn't just disappear, she wouldn't leave us like this," her mother sobbed in a video statement to authorities. That statement, raw and heartbreaking, would later be shown as evidence of the fear and grief that rippled through everyone who loved her. Investigators began canvassing the area. They spoke with the man she had met online, trying to reconstruct the timeline. According to reports, the date had been arranged through a dating app. Messages indicated a casual meetup, nothing that suggested any premeditated plan for violence. Yet what they would uncover would defy all expectations. By the next week, the worst fears were confirmed. Yessenia's body was discovered in an apartment in Tolleson, Arizona. The scene was beyond brutal. 27 stab wounds, her face mutilated, a violence so extreme it shook even the most seasoned detectives. There was no question. This was not a crime of passion. This was rage. This was intent. This was pure brutality. Her mother, when shown the crime scene photos, broke down completely. "She was my baby, and someone took her like this? How could this happen?" The words echoed in the minds of investigators and viewers alike. A daughter gone, a family shattered, a community horrified. The suspect, later identified as the man she had met through the app, was nowhere to be found initially. Authorities pieced together that after the attack, he had fled the state. Every step of the investigation revealed more chilling details about the planning, the attack, and the aftermath. As the community struggled to process the horror, online safety warnings began circulating. Parents, friends, and strangers alike were reminded that behind a profile picture could lurk something terrifying, a reality that Yessenia and her family tragically learned too late. After Yessenia's body was discovered in Tolleson, Arizona, investigators faced a scene of unimaginable horror. 27 stab wounds, severe facial mutilation, evidence that the attack had been violent, personal, and deliberate. This was not a random crime. This was a targeted act of brutality. The man she had met online immediately became the focus of the investigation. Police traced his last known movements and quickly realized he had fled the state. His social media and online activity painted a picture of someone who had carefully concealed darker tendencies behind a polished, seemingly normal profile. Interviews with friends, family, and neighbors began. Her mother's voice, trembling yet determined, became central to understanding Yessenia's last hours. She was so full of life, always careful, always smart. "I don't understand how this happened. I don't understand why anyone would do this to her," she told investigators in a recorded statement. The raw emotion highlighted not only the family's grief, but also the tragedy of a young life cut brutally short. Authorities then focused on digital evidence. Phone records, messages, and app activity revealed the brief but fateful interactions between Yessenia and her attacker. Investigators noted that she had willingly agreed to the meeting, completely unaware that the man she had been chatting with could commit such a violent act. Neighbors reported unusual activity near the scene that night. A brief argument, raised voices, and then silence. Investigators pieced together that something during the meetup triggered extreme aggression, but the extent of the violence suggested more than a spontaneous fight. 27 stab wounds and the mutilation of her face were deliberate, excessive, and horrifyingly personal. Once the suspect's location was identified in Biloxi, Mississippi, law enforcement coordinated a multi-agency effort to apprehend him. He was arrested without resistance, but the evidence was overwhelming. Authorities confirmed that he was responsible for both the attack and her murder. Court documents later revealed chilling details of the crime. The suspect had meticulously planned the meetup, likely knowing where Yessenia lived and how he could isolate her. Investigators also found that he had taken steps to cover his tracks, attempting to evade law enforcement and delay discovery of the crime. During interviews, her mother's pleas for justice were clear and heartbreaking. "I just want the world to know what happened. I want people to be careful, and I want her memory to live on. She didn't deserve this, no one does." Her words added a deeply personal, human dimension to the investigation, a reminder that behind the crime were real lives destroyed. Evidence, digital records, witness statements, and forensic analysis all painted the same picture. This was a premeditated act of violence, executed with terrifying precision. The arrest of the suspect brought relief to investigators, but it could not erase the pain that Yessenia's family felt. 27 stab wounds, a mutilated face, a young life stolen in a moment of unimaginable violence. Her mother's grief was raw and unfiltered. In interviews, she spoke with tears streaming down her face. "She was my baby, my heart, gone in a night. I can't believe someone could do this to my daughter. I just want people to be careful. I want her death to save someone else." The trial laid bare the terrifying details of the crime. Digital evidence, phone records, and witness statements all painted a chilling picture. A young woman lured into a trap by someone she thought she could trust. Prosecutors described the act as premeditated and cruel. Every detail of the attack, from the brutality of the stab wounds to the mutilation, underscoring how dangerous misplaced trust can be. The community watched, horrified. Friends, neighbors, and strangers alike grappled with the question: how could something so ordinary, a date arranged through a dating app, become so deadly? Yessenia's mother urged viewers to take this tragedy as a warning. Her message was simple but powerful. Always trust your instincts. Always meet in public places. Let someone know where you're going. And never ignore that gut feeling that something isn't right. I don't want another parent to feel what I feel right now. This crime reminds us that awareness isn't just information. It can save lives. It teaches that caution in online interactions isn't paranoia. It's survival. It underscores the reality that predators can hide behind smiles and screens, and that safety must always come first. As the trial concluded and justice was served, the scars remained, but so did the lessons. For Yessenia, for her family, and for everyone who watched this unfold, the message is clear. Value your life, protect yourself, and never take trust for granted. Her mother's plea echoes beyond the courtroom. Remember her. Remember her life. But also remember her death. Let it be a warning. Be careful, be alert, and never let anyone take your safety for granted. The crime that ended Yessenia Norman's life is a painful reminder that ordinary moments can hide extraordinary danger, and that vigilance, awareness, and caution are essential.
If you want to stay updated on true crime stories, investigations, and in-depth reports like this one, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. Every story matters, and by subscribing, you help us continue to bring the truth to light.